Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this workshop on video editing using OpenShot. So, a warm welcome to everyone to this particular workshop. So, as usual, uh, by the rule of online meeting, I will put the question: is my audio video clear? So, Geeta is my co-host. She will be handling the chat. So, if you type something in chat, she will be redirecting the questions to me. Can anyone else verify that the audio video is clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, thank you, Ajit sir. So, just for your information, we are recording this workshop, and in a day or two, we will upload the whole recording onto our YouTube channel, which is Open Source Cook. So, if you are interested in other activities that we are doing, training videos and other things, you can subscribe to that particular channel. We'll share the link in the chat box. Okay, then let's get started. Okay, so I have shared my screen. Uh, Again, as usual, if someone can verify, you can see the screen. The whole screen is shared over here. Okay, great. So our topic today, as everyone already knows, is video editing this thing, and we are going to talk about OpenShot Video Editor. Now, before we start, many of you already know me. I'll just give you my background. I'm Gaurav Pan, and I'm an open source enthusiast. I use all open source software for my work with computer or digital life as far as possible. Fine. Some or the other places we do come across some situations, but 99.9% of the time, it's almost 20 years, 20 plus years now that I've been working with all open source software, and it's really possible to live with open source software, and you can work with others, exchange your content and other things without any issues as such. So hopefully most of you know the concept of open source software. Fine. Open source software, I'll just give a brief overview. Primary concept is that open source softwares come under a license which provides us more freedoms. Fine. So the basic freedom is that you can share the open source software, you can modify open source software, where you get the source code of the software, and you can study the open source software because source code is available, and so many other aspects are there. Point to understand is many people assume that open source software is free software, as in free of cost, which is not the criteria. Open source software primarily comes into a philosophy where sharing and helping others is the concept. And because of this concept, open source software has become quite popular. And today, open source software is one of the main pillars which is getting our software developed. And a lot of things that you see or you don't see on the internet, it's a kind of backbone to everything around the world. So um, being an open source software enthusiast, I have decided to conduct multiple workshops. Uh, Many of them are going to be free, and the free series will continue with the introduction and many other things. And uh, I'm planning to conduct proper sessions and other things later on also, which I'll be announcing. But I'm going to conduct multiple workshops on open source softwares, maybe concept of open source and other things, out of which the first one was on 3D modeling using Blender, which is an open source software. Then we had last week another workshop on game development with the Blender game engine, which is called as the UpBGE. And today we are going to have this particular workshop on OpenShot, which is a video editor. And this video editor is completely free and open source. Now, being open source, one of the things that happens is that you can download this software for free of cost. And the most important aspect is that this comes with a license which is allowing you to use it for zero cost. Download it, So the version that you get and you are going to use is going to be legal, which in turns comes to a very major point that today all of us are connected on the internet, and anything we design, develop, and share over there has to have a proper license. Fine, there can be issues specifically when it comes into the commercial situation. So if you are using some software which you have obtained not in a legal manner or something, or you don't have a proper license to use that software, anything developed from that software can get you into trouble. Fine. Now, if on the other hand, if you use open source tools which are allowing you to use the software for zero cost, free of cost, fine, then whatever you develop from those softwares is not going to give you any trouble with these license issues and all. On the other hand, many people think that open source softwares are not up to the mark and all. Well, I will say that it's a concept, or one thing that is there is called what we call as FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is not true. You can use open source software for professional grade work and other things. The aspect to understand is tool is one thing and your skills is one thing. Fine. So you can have any kind of tool, but if your skills are not great, then you will not be able to generate anything professional grade or whatever people want to call that. So our interest today is in this OpenShot video editor software, which is completely free. As you can see, this is the website openshot.org, and this is a very nice video editing software which I have been using for a very long time. Fine. And as I mentioned, it's open source. You can download this from this website. It is available for your Linux automatically, dependent upon your operating system. It will show you a certain particular version. You can go for Linux. It is there for Chrome OS, Mac, Windows, and other things. You can download a suitable version and install it. And I'm assuming that everyone is smart enough today to install softwares easily. Fine. So here automatically, dependent upon your operating system, you will get one downloadable one, and you can download and start that particular piece of software. Now, if we talk about the system requirements for this particular piece of software, so system requirements are mentioned over here. So usually if any one of you are having i3 with 4 or 8 GB of RAM, it is more than enough for initial work. Fine. Any kind of graphics or these works require us better hardware, but to start with, you can start with any i3 kind of processor with around 4 GB of RAM. I would recommend 8 GB. Here, other recommendations are mentioned. Fine. So today, anyone having a standard laptop can start working with these things, or you can use this. If you want to get into professional video editing and all, so obviously you will require a better hardware, because as the size of your videos is going to increase, then you need more RAM and processing power over here. So having a graphics card and other things can be helpful, right? But at least for OpenShot, the graphic card immediately is not required. Powerful processor and more RAM is much more suitable one. Okay, so this is what are the requirements. But anyways, anyone who is interested in making small videos and doing the editing and other aspects, you can simply do with this. Now, to demonstrate this, I have downloaded one movie called as The Big Buck Bunny, and this movie was created long back, somewhere around 2008, and this movie was created with the Blender 3D software. And since I am talking about the Blender 3D software, Blender organization releases a lot of movies every now and then, and one of the latest movies called as Flow, which is created completely with Blender, is released in a commercial manner as far as I understand, and it has been released in Amazon Prime Video. So anyone who has Amazon Prime Video, I would recommend them to have a look at that movie Flow. There's some interesting storyline or something. Otherwise, also you can simply go to Blender's website and look for the open source movies that have been created using Blender. Very nice movies and graphics have been done with that. So anyways, so that basically gives you an idea that open source software is powerful until unless you see the output. Many people feel that whether it is worth it or not. So as I mentioned, there are two things. The softwares are good. Second is your skill set. Fine. So let's come back to this. So if you people want, hopefully you have already downloaded it, or you can still download it from this particular website. It's not a very big program. Fine. Uh, if you are doing it for Linux, it comes as a app image. Fine. There is someone saying, okay, let me just increase my mic volume over here. Is that better? The mic volume? Okay. The mic volume was a bit less, so probably because of that. Okay, thank you for that information. Okay, so let's get into this and let's see what we are going to see today in today's workshop. So I have taken up some points. So we have already discussed about OpenShot and all. So let's have a look at the software, and I have created a link over here for my OpenShot thing. So as you can see, this is the OpenShot interface. The interface depends on the whether it's going to come in black and white or something, or these areas could look a bit different to you. But let me just introduce you to these areas. Right? This area is our project file area, where you will be adding your files, the video files, images, audio, whatever you want to add, all those files will show up. Right? So it has a show all video and other things. So for example, let me open this. I have kept some files for our work over here. So like if I'm going to work with this movie, fine. So I can drag and drop it into this also, or you can open it from here by saying, sorry, you can click over here and say import files also. Fine. So let's do this, import files, and let's go to my okay, so I can import it from here. So you will see that the file is imported. Now here other things like I can drag and drop, like if I want to use an image over here, I can drag and drop this particular image over here, right? So this way, the files that you will be needing for your video editing or primary file, the video or multiple video clips that you want to work with, they will get imported over here. Now, with every software, be it open source or closed source, make sure whenever you're working with your projects, make sure you save your project when you start working with these things, right? So I will just make sure I have saved the project first. Fine. So we have saved the project. It saves it as something OSP, open source project or something. So this is saved, and this is where my files will come up. Now you can see them separately as video, audio, images, and other things over here. All these things are draggable. You can see these dotted areas. With the dotted areas, you can drag and adjust your things as per your requirement. Fine. Then this area is called as transition area. Transition is basically like when you have one clip and you want to fade off to another clip. Fine. So that kind of transitions are, a lot of transitions are there inbuilt into it. Fine, you can put these transitions over here. So transitions are shown over here. So show all common, few things are there, filter, you can search for them. Then there are emojis. Fine, so these are our settings over here. And then this is the video preview area. So when I will be working on some video, editing it, that video will show up over here. In this particular section, we have some filtering and other mechanisms, fine, effects which can be added. So these effects are here in these sections. Then we have a option of adding captions also, so you can add some captions to your video if required. And so here there is effects which can be filtered by video and audio effects, right? Something like one which most of you might be knowing is called as the chroma key. Like if you have a video with green background or a specific background and you want to remove that particular background, it should be one color. So usually people record with that single green colored background, and that background has to be removed. This is what is the purpose of this. And so these kind of things are available in our this thing. Then this is a properties section. You will see different things over here based on your selection when we'll be working with our clips, video clips. Fine. And finally, this is a section which is referred as tracks. Fine. This is where we will be placing our video. So track 1 is the lowest track and track 5 is the highest track. Now with respect to audio, it won't matter, but if I have a video, like what I'll do is I'll drag a video into a particular track, and this is the area from where we are going to do the editing. Fine. So this is your whole clip, and you can add multiple clips over here, zoom in and zoom out by pressing Control and your scroll wheel. So you can zoom in, zoom out, and you can add multiple clips over here for your purpose. So if you have any other clip, you can add to it. Fine. So clips are basically your video clips or audio clips. Now, what is the purpose of these particular tracks? They are useful when you want to overlay something on this thing. So the higher tracks means you are placing something on top of that. So think of it that you have a poster and you have a smaller image or a sticker. If you place it on top of the poster, then the sticker will be visible on the on top of the poster. So similarly, the things which are placed on top, they will overlap this particular one. So we have to adjust the size and other things as per our requirement. Fine. So this is our tracks over here. Okay. So this is our track section. So we were going to see the very basic things, how to clip or edit the tracks. That is the first thing. Fine. How to edit, basically splitting the track and working with it. Now, before we proceed, this track which you have selected, when you click on a particular thing which is there, let me add, let's say this image is there. If I add this image over here, it gets added. Fine. This is an image and this is a video. Fine. Now, whenever you select a particular track over here or clip, fine, we'll call these as clips. Any clip which you select over here, you will notice that the properties on this side are changing. So there are a lot of interesting properties which help you manage the view out here, control the volume, alpha channel, scale, size, and other things. Fine. So today we'll not get into the details of each and everything, but few things that you might require, I will discuss from this. So first thing is that we have to select our track and we have to look at it. Fine. So like when I play this, fine, this particular clip that we have over here, fine. Now you can see this image which I had kept is overlapping now. Fine. Overlapping. This is how we use it. Okay. So this is the purpose. Fine. So the first thing that we are going to see is how to clip out some sections, or how to uh, make some in between parts or something like that if you want to do that. So the first thing that you're going to do is, like, we will select our track on which we want to work over here, and this is your playhead. Fine, this is your playhead. You can move it around anywhere in any section that you want. So let us say we just wanted to remove the ending part of this. So ending has some sections over here. Fine. Okay, a lot of part is in the ending. So if I just wanted to remove this ending part, what you are going to do is, on your clip over here, fine, specifically make sure you have clicked on the clip, and wherever this head is there, fine, from that location it will clip. Fine. The information that you're seeing is the length of the clip over here, the timing. Okay, this is the whole timing, and if you align it completely from the left side, then the timing will match accordingly. You can see. Fine. Now over here I am going to do a right click, and here you can say slice all. Slice all will give you an option: keep both sides, keep left side, keep the right side. Fine. So like in this case we don't want this ending part, so we are going to say keep the right side. Fine. So I'm going to click on this, and sorry, my mistake, I should say keep the left side. So I'm going to say keep the left side, and this particular part of the clip is removed for you. Okay. So here, this is up to the place we are going to keep our clip over here. Fine. Now, suppose you wanted to remove that part, some part in between. So how we are going to work with that? In that particular scenario, we simply move our scrub head to a particular section. Fine. And in this section, we are going to say slice and keep both the sides. Now, before I proceed into that, I want to point out one more thing over here, is that suppose there is a clip above this also, right? Like this. So if you have images or something, you can stretch them. By default, an image which you add is usually added for 10 seconds. This is a default one over here, right? So I have stretched it. Usually you will add, it will be added for a 5 or 10 seconds, whatever is the default of that. Now, if there are two clips like this, okay, this is the above, this is the below one. If you do your slicing by clicking on the head, scrubber head it is called, I think, here you right click, and when you say slice, then it is going to slice all of the clips that are there in the different tracks. So if I say slice, keep both the sides, or if I just say keep left side, then it's going to slice everything. Of course, you can use the standard Control Z to undo it. Other aspect that you have to keep in mind is it's not damaging my original movie clip. Fine. It's nothing going to happen to your original movie clip, so you don't have to worry about it. So this thing you have to keep in mind while slicing. If you want to slice everything, then you click in this particular location. If you just wanted to slice some area over here, fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this one, and then I'm going to say cut. Where did it go? Here you will see multiple options specific to the clip itself, and here we are going to say slice, keep both the sides, keep left side, keep right side, or something. So I'm going to say keep both the sides, and somewhere in between I wanted this particular clip, so I can keep it over here somewhere in between. So I can drag it and put it in between also. So if this would have been a separate clip which you wanted to add, fine, you could add it here. It has a automatic snapping system, so it just snaps together. So now what happens is that when we are playing our clip over here, Fine, you can play, stop, forward, rewind, things are there. If you play it from here, fine, this clip is there, then the next clip starts, whatever you have put, and then it will move ahead and your remaining clip starts. Okay, got it? Any doubts or questions at this point? How we have cut the left side, right side clipping mechanism? Any questions on this? Okay, so this way you could cut some areas from your clips, whichever you don't want, and you can have that area. So sometimes, usually when we are doing some screen recording or something, so we fumble up somewhere, or sometimes some statement goes wrong, or sometimes there is a background noise or some sound comes up, your mobile rings in between, so you start over again. So in that particular case, you just go through your video, find out the location where that issue is happening. Fine, for a better this thing, you can zoom it out, select a section. Fine, then you simply say slice, keep both the sides. Fine, and then suppose you wanted to remove this much of part, then you will say slice, keep both the sides, and or rather than keeping both the sides, what I'm going to do is, in this particular case, I'm going to say slice and keep the right side. Fine, and then I'm just going to drag and connect it over here. So when I play it from this particular location, my clip goes here and then start from the next part wherever I want. So this way I can simply cut the areas. Fine. Now, if you wanted to reuse some part of the clip, fine, like I will cut this particular section, slice, since there is nothing much here, so I'm going to say keep both the sides. I could take out this clip and use it somewhere else, reposition it. Okay, so let's say we will slice, keep both the sides, and now I'm going to keep this onto this side, and I can reset my clips over here as per my requirement. So this is here, this is here. Now when you watch your clips, what's going to happen is it will play the first part, this first, and then the earlier part will come up over here. So you could cut the sections of the clip and you can rearrange them as per your requirement. Or if you have multiple clips from different places and all, so you can just cut out their parts and place them as per your requirement. So this way you are able to manage your clips over here. Or basically this is the basic slicing mechanism where we are slicing out different sections. Primary thing is, like, if you are making some videos, tutorials or something like that, or if you have done some kind of recording and you want to slice out the sections which you don't want, you can simply slice out from this particular mechanism. So this is the simple slicing mechanism that is there, right? Suppose you don't want any particular section of the clip, you can remove them by right clicking on it and your clips could be removed. So now this is the only part I want to work with. That is what I have with me. Okay. So any questions or anything, or is it clear? Okay, so let's get into the next part, is how we can add these transitions. Transitions means, suppose I have a clip, fine, let's say we will cut this, slice, keep both the sides, fine, and I have chopped off some part from this, slice, keep the right side over here. Now see what happens is when you will watch this clip, usually when we are doing some screen recording or making a tutorial and we chop off certain part. So the person who is talking is in a flow, right? So what happens is that suddenly you will see some the face was on the left and suddenly the face goes to the right, which does not looks very great. So if I play it from here, you can see there is a jump in between. Fine. This is a noticeable jump that takes place, which does not looks good. So we want that there should be some transition between these two particular things. So the simplest thing that you can do is the default transition that is there, which is called as the fade one. Rather than going in for any fancy one, we can simply say you right click on this and there is a fade option. Fine. There is a fade option and it says no fade, start of the clip, end of the clip, and entire clip. So right now, with respect to this clip, fine. With respect to this clip, this is the end of the clip, this side. Right side is the end of the clip. So I'm going to say fade, end of the clip. We are going to say fade out fast. Fade out fast. And in this particular one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say fade, start of the clip, fade in fast. So now what happens is, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at our clip. So this fades out and this fades in. So this choppy effect which was there is gone. So this is how you can add. This is the simplest and the easiest to use transition between clips. Fine. Now, if you don't want this particular transition, we can simply say go to fade and say no fade. And here also we can say fade, no fade. Okay. So over here, this transition has been seen, simple transition. Now, if you wanted a better transition, a fancy one, so you can come to all these transitions that are there. You can see a lot of transitions are there. So let's take up some interesting transition. This checkerboard transition is there. So I'm just going to drag and drop this transition over here. And what you have to do is, if you keep the transition like this is the length of the transition. So I have selected the transition and you can see end is 4.9. So this is around 4 seconds. I can set it to 5 seconds. So this is the properties area where I will be setting it up. But if you use it directly, fine, then what happens? Let's see. That transition effect is not very clear because it does not fades out completely. The transition usually starts at this point and ends at this point. So initially many people do this, they put the transition like this and then they assume that it will. So it will be a good one. But since it does not completely becomes opaque, transition starts from one point, it goes completely black or opaque. So in between it is not opaque. So at this particular point when we are here, fine, when the jump takes place between the two clips, fine, the transition is not completely opaque. The transition usually is opaque at usually towards the end or something. So for this particular thing, what you will do, so here you can see in this point the transition is opaque. So instead of this, what we usually do is we will make this transition small on this side and you can simply say copy transition and paste it and take two transitions over here. And this is a workaround for this. And now when I will play, what is going to happen is this will be completely transitioned and this will be the reverse of that transition. Automatically it puts it into the reverse mode. So this is, it fades out. From here it is fading out. Fine. Fades out or it blacks out, and here from black to fade in it happens. So this way you can use the transitions and you can drag your transitions to be small, lesser or more as per your requirement. Once the transitions are set, simply play this, and transitions have to be overlapping over there. Let's just see if it can work from the other track, which I doubt. Right? So this is not going to work. Transitions have to be overlaid on our video tracks. Fine. So over here, this way I can add some transitions. You can remove the transition over here and you can try some other transition. Lot of transitions are over here. Anyone that you would want, right? You can try out. My personal preference is a very simple one, either fade in, fade out, or the standard fade in, fade out is there. Because see, the more things you add externally, what is going to happen is it's going to be taking a time while compiling this video, because this will be recompiled for your purpose. I'm going to paste this. So this is another transition that we're going to have over here, right? So now this is a different kind of transition, and the automatically OpenShot keeps the second one in the reverse mode because it's in the starting. So it automatically does it from darker to lighter. So this is this same transition you have to copy paste and you will get your effect over here, right? So any questions at this particular point? Any questions? Okay, so these are the transitions. You can try out the different transitions that are there. These are the default ones which are available. A lot of good transitions are there. Whatever you want, you can use as per your requirement. Okay, so we have a question, it seems.
So Zainab is asking, can we add more than one transition effect at once?
More than one transition effect, then it's going to overlap and mix. What exactly you're wanting to say? At the same location you want to add more transition effect, or at different areas you want to add transition effects? In the same area, I don't think it is going to be useful. We can just try putting a transition over here. Let's overlap these two transitions and let's see what happens in this particular case. So two transitions are merging up. Acha, what is it? What is?
Like one as it fades and then another as the scene starts.
Okay.
Same we are doing.
Two different transitions you want to have. Yes, that is possible. This I will remove. This is the earlier one. So this is the different transition. So you want to fade in or you want to fade out with a different transition and fade in with a different transition. Yes, that is possible, not a problem. So here I have put it over here like this. This is our crossfade or vertical, and this is a different transition. That is possible. So that you are free to do. It's not compulsory that you have to have this thing, and the lengths of the transitions can be different. Fine, like this could be a smaller one or this could be a lengthier one, and this one could be even smaller, and you can simply run it from here. So this happens, and this transition could be a bit slower also. Means the lengthier, the more it is going to take more time. Fine. Is it clear? This is what you wanted to know? Okay, great. So this is about transitions. Relating to transitions, if you have any questions. Okay, fine. So now this is all about transitions. Fine. If you have any questions, you can put them across. Otherwise, I will proceed to the next part. That is how we can add titles or overlay text or something into this. Okay, so now let's do one thing. We want to, what we want to do is we want to have some title for our movie. Like when you have a video audio, you initially want to have a title section. So for that purpose, let's see, I have some images over here, which would be, let's see, just a second. Okay, let's do one thing. More interesting aspect I will show rather than looking at the background. So from this particular movie, I want to have one image which I want to use for my first title screen. Fine. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the movie and I will select one section which I feel is suitable for this. So let's say I have decided on this particular image. Let's say, okay, let's say this one is what I want to use as a title frame. So you need to have an image which is the same size of your video. So this video is in some resolution which is full HD resolution. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Fine. So go to file and save the current frame. Shortcut is Shift E. Fine. So I'm going to save the current frame and I'm just going to save it over here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import that file, PNG file over here. And this is what I'm going to put as my first frame over here. Okay. So now this is an image, right? This is an image. This image is automatically going to be like there. And this is what we are going to use for the title. Now you decide for how long the title screen should be there. We will keep it over there. So one thing is that you can create another text image or something. You can edit it in an external tool or something like that. Like suppose you wanted to make it much more fancy. So you could use some tool, like I'll just going to open it with say GIMP. This is another graphics tool, fine, image manipulation tool. I'm just going to put it through some filter, fine. Let's say clothify. Fine. This is a change into the image, and we're just going to override this particular image. So now what we will do is, now you can see this image is updated, and you could have made all the changes to the image itself directly over there using a graphics tool, like if you have worked with Photoshop. So GIMP is the image editing tool we have in open source, very powerful. So I have now set this image. This is my title frame, and I will set this title frame for, let's say, 5 seconds over here, right? I can set it to 5 seconds. You can manually drag it and set it for your requirement. Now what we want is we want to add a title. So throughout the movie or something, when you are going to work with it, I'll just remove this and I'll just keep the whole movie back again over here. We want some title. So next thing that we will add over here is go to titles, right? And from here you can choose some template which can work as a title for you, right? There are some limitations and all. And there are some film rating titles also, standardized ones which are there. You can update it from here, like if you want to put these kind of titles also. Otherwise, if you want to put some simple text title, you can select it from here, right? So let's say I'm going to use this title. So a title will be created. This will not be added immediately. So we'll say main movie title. Fine. This is my main movie title. And here the big buck bunny. Now this, if your title fits into this, then it is good. Otherwise, you could change the font size and all from here to set it for your requirements. Fine. So you can, let's set it to some size. So fonts and all it depends on your system. Okay. Now we will save this and we will have the title of the movie showing up over here. Fine. This title is ready. Now, so basically this is a kind of text that we have. Now I'm going to add the title over here. So usually the titles are transparent, right? And I have added the title. Notice that I have added the title on a higher track number 4. If you place it below this, then it's not going to work because this image is not transparent, right? This image is not transparent. And usually the titles are set to be transparent. You can see some coloring of the title is coming up and it is transparent over here. Okay. Now, if you wanted to adjust the title somewhere, you could simply drag it from here. Make sure the title is selected and you could drag it and place the title as per your requirement at a particular location. Right? This way the title sets over here. And now if you play, you can see this is my first screen which is set up. So I have set up the title. Now if I wanted multiple titles over here for some reason, let us say the Big Buck Bunny is one thing. And I wanted another title. So I could simply copy this title also, or I could create another title also over here. Right? And I will take this simple one and credits. Blender 3D. Okay. So here this credits one I'm going to place on top of it. Okay. Now, because the titles are transparent, you will have to keep them one top of the other. You will have to decide accordingly that which should overlap which one, like this dark color should overlap the previous one and all. So just imagine that you have some semi-transparent pages and all. How you keep them, the lowest one will be affected by the next one on top of it and next one on top of it and so on. So this is how the layering is working over here. The lower ones are on the lower side, right? Usually we keep some tracks available below. Otherwise you can always say add a track above or below, right, to have more track. Like if I say add one track over here, I can add one more track for my purpose. But generally 4 or 5 tracks initially are good enough for our purpose over here. Now, to make this look interesting, what we are going to do is we are going to put this into fade. You can put your required transitions also, but I'm going to simply say entire clip fade in, fade out, slow. And this one, I'm going to do fade in, fade out, entire clip, fast. Fine. So now what's going to happen is, when this starts, the first one, because these clips are a bit small, the effect is not shown immediately. Let's make them a bit bigger to understand. Okay. Now this, whatever I'm telling you, is your creative ideas that you can implement on this. So I'm just going to say, first I'll have to remove that fade because it is set to some earlier this thing. So now what we will do is we will say fade this entire clip slow, and we'll fade this entire clip fast. Okay, and this one we'll just keep it as it is, and let's play this now. So you can see the Big Buck Bunny comes first, and then Made with Blender comes later on, and similarly the Big Buck Bunny will fade in first, or the other one, this starts fading, and so on. So there are these two effects. The other thing that you can do, some interesting effects that you can add is, let's take this clip, right click on that clip, and you can see the standard fade effect which we have used. Here there is a animate, so I could animate a particular clip. Fine. Here keep this in mind that the clip should be selected first. Right click on it, let's go to animate over here, and you can put the animation in the start of the clip or end of the clip. So let's say start of the clip, there is a zoom which says 50 to 100%, right? Or 150 to 100%. So what's going to happen is there is now an animation added to my clip over here, where when I play this, what's going to happen? The image zooms in and zooms out, fine, during the initial part only, and then it goes off. Let's try putting some effect, or we can just simply take up one transition at the end over here and connect this. Fine. So now our initial intro screen is ready. Right. And here is what we have to the initial introductory screen. Right. And this is where our movie will start. Now, since this movie is already there, I don't need a transition, because this movie, they have already started with a fade in transition, or which is there in the movie by default. Okay, so any doubts or questions?
We have one question from Syampada. Can we cut a video based on time intervals from 10 seconds to 20 seconds?
You can cut that, but generally what's going to happen is we are working on this manually. For that, there are some automated tools on the command line, at least on Linux and all. So with that, you can chop it off into multiple parts. I have not tested it on this. This is an interesting question, that you want to break it into multiple parts. So for that, I have not tried it out if there is any functionality into this. But as far as I have worked on this, I have not seen that functionality specifically breaking it into 10 seconds part. You will have to do it manually, most probably. Okay, now let's get into another interesting part, is that when I am working on the clip and in some area, I want to have some other image and other things or something like that. Fine. Like this person is this to this point. Fine. This to this point. It is like quite kind of singing over here. Fine. And I want to have some caption type of something put over here. So interestingly, I just downloaded one image over here, and I've taken that. I'm going to place it over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I can resize this image over here. Fine. Now at this point, it's important that your playhead is exactly at the beginning. I will tell you what is the reason for that. And now we can like put it over here. Okay. And let's add a fade effect to this. Fine. You can add a fade effect to this clip also. Fade in, fade out fast. And let's play this and see what happens. Okay, so now you can adjust on that and you have a extra one. So you will have to set this according to your understanding. Like we saw that this guy gets hit over here at this particular point, right? So we can like put the lookout at this particular point. Somewhere in between. Let's again reset the fade over here. And let's see what happens. Okay, so you can set these kind of things over here. Fine. So this way you could add some images and put them somewhere. When you have some video tutorials or something, you will be able to put these particular things. Fine. I think we have few more questions over here.
One question is, can we add a sound to an image? Title, frame, image.
Yes, you can add some sound.
One more question from Sudhanva. Such clips ending with added text is a nice way to make creative memes. Okay, this is a suggestion, I guess.
Thanks for that suggestion, Sudhanva. And now the question is that can we add some sound to this particular part? Now this particular movie section is already having the sound. Let us say for another one example could be you have a lot of images. Fine. Some of our known people over here, they are into photography and they have like thousands of images and they want to create some transitions and other things. So for that purpose, what we can do is I will just take all these to one side and let us say these are my images. So this is one image, this is one image, and let's reduce their transitions. So you could simply put the images that are there, maybe this one also, one after the another like this. Fine. And you add some transitions to them. So you can have a movie with all the images that you want to show to your friends or someone. Rather than sending thousands of different images, you can place them. Apart from this, we already know that we can put some titles and other things. So like if this image is associated with the title, fine, over here I can put the title for this image over here. So explaining
We can make a birthday video by collecting all the snaps.
Yes,
and adding music to it.
yes. So after arranging all your images, adding the transitions, what you simply need to do is you need to get your audio track. Like assuming that this Big Buck Bunny is my audio track, fine. The MP3 or whatever is there, you simply need to get that. And what you do is you place that audio track just below this. Now, if you want separate audios for each and every one of them, fine. So let me say I will say slice, keep both the sides. Slice, keep both the sides. So now let's say these are my audio tracks. Audio tracks you will have to import separately. So in this case, I'm just assuming that these are my audio tracks and I will place my audio tracks below this. Now in audio tracks also you can do the same thing. You can have the fading effects on audio track. So here for audio tracks, you have something called as volume. You can have start of the clip, fade in, fade out. You can increase or decrease the volumes. In the end of the clip, you can have fade in, fade out. And entire clip also you can put it as fade in, fade out for the entire clip. Fast, slow, fade in, fade out. You can set that. So whenever one image is going to transition from one point to the another, like if I put this and say volume to this entire clip fade in, fade out slow, what's going to happen is that when this will start, the clip will have a fade in, fade out effect with the volume also. So volume will slowly increase and slowly decrease. So this way you can place all different images, put some transitions into them, and you can create a complete video with images and other things. In fact, this whole process can be very useful for creating tutorial videos, right? Like if you don't want to, your tutorials do not include a lot of demonstration or something, so you can simply have an image and you can discuss about that image over there, and your audio could be below that particular this thing, right? So this way you could create the tutorials and add your audio tracks also. And if there are multiple audio tracks, then obviously they are going to mix. If like over here, if there are multiple audio tracks, they will get mixed up. It can mix audio tracks. So in that particular case, someone will ask me, what's the purpose of having multiple audio tracks? So this could be my main audio or speech, what I am talking about, and I want a subtle music in the background. So I can download some music from somewhere, and that particular music I can place it here. And here for this particular one, I could simply set the volume for the entire clip to like say 20% or 10%. You can test it out, and this will just keep on playing slowly in the background, and your main audio could be on a higher level or your speech could be on a higher level. This way you can create or work with audio tracks also. Fine. Now, whenever we are working with these recordings, fine, one issue that can occur is a background noise. Usually, like if the fan is there or something, many of you do the recordings. So video editing is not one single tool job. This tool is basically going to allow you to arrange the clips, set the audio and all, though it has some inbuilt functionalities to remove the sounds and all. But for the purpose of working with sound properly, fine, there is a tool called as Audacity. Many of you might have heard of it. So I will just open this thing. So I had created this video today morning. Fine, it has some background noise. Fine, I was just testing this. So this has some background noise. Fan noise is there. So what is to be done is, even though this is a video, I can directly open with a tool called as Audacity. I'm just opening that tool, and here in Audacity we need to remove that noise. Fine. So this is my tool. In Audacity a lot of things can be done. So this section which you see, this is the noise. I can hear that. If you see this here, over here, you can see that there is a noise. There is no talking, and this is where I am talking. This section, this is the talking part. Fine. Obviously that noise is still there in the talking background also. Fine. So what we need to do is we need to use some tools like this before we can work with our audio, and we have to remove this particular noise. So how do we remove this particular noise?
Sir, I have one query. From where to get this Audacity functionality?
Audacity, you can just search on the net. Audacity is another open source tool for audio editing, and it's quite powerful with a lot of quite famous with a lot of people. It's quite powerful and famous with a lot of people. Fine. So again, this is open source tool. As I mentioned earlier, I work with all the open source tools only as far as possible, 99.9% of the times. So this particular tool, I will just demonstrate how quickly I can remove the noise. So first of all, I will just select the noise sample. So this part is completely noise. This is what I want to remove. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, fine, I have to go to effects. There is something called as noise removal, noise reduction. Fine. From here, I simply say get noise profile. Of course, these are complex tools. You will have to work with them and study them to understand each and everything. But default setting, I'm just going to say get noise profile. So the one which is selected it collects it as a noise profile. Now I'm going to do simply select the whole track over here by Control A. Effect, I will go to noise remove. I could have simply said repeat noise reduction, but I'll simply say noise reduction again. And this time I'm going to say reduce, and I'm going to say okay. Fine. First we got the noise profile. Now the system knows which is the noise. And now I'm going to say okay. And you can see this noise is reduced a lot over here. Right. So this level is reduced. So you can, if you are still not satisfied, you could probably try running it once again. Right? Now this noise is almost negligible over here. Other things that you can do is, like, if the volume is less, you could go to effect, volume and compression, amplify it, and let us say apply. Then this whole audio is amplified. Once your work is done, what you do is you export this as audio. Right? Export this as audio with MP3 or OGG Vorbis or whatever format is your requirement. Just export this wherever you want to use it. Let's save this. So this audio is now exported, and now I can use this audio over here. So in this particular case, suppose this was my original video. This was my original video on which we have to work with. Let's remove all the other things. If this was my original video, I will have to get the audio which we just created, this BG noise audio. Fine. And then I will place this audio over here. Okay. Now one trick that you have to do is you have to make sure both of them are aligned together. When you listen to this, fine, when you play, if you hear one single sound of the person talking, then they are aligned properly. If you hear two sounds like echo or something, forward, backward, then make sure they are aligned properly. Just align them. Once they are aligned, then what you have to do is, since we want to use this audio, fine, because the audio is same for video track and this thing. So what you will do is, in this particular case, you select the video track, make sure this head is outside or almost at the beginning of the video track. Fine. Select your video track, and here you can see enable audio, enable video is there. What we are going to do is we are going to right click on this and we will say off. So what is going to happen is, now my video track, from the video track only video will be used and audio will be from this lower track or the audio track. So this is the cleaned audio. This is my original video which had the distortion. So when I use it with this, my audio will be clear when I completely compile my particular software or video in the end as a total thing. Right? So that is how you can work with audio. You can add music, you can edit your audio, update it, and then use it with this and make some interesting outputs from that. Okay. Any other questions if anyone might be having? Okay, so let me take you to another interesting aspect you might have seen in many of the videos or anything, that sometimes there are certain sections which we are not interested in or we still want to keep them. Like if I am demonstrating a DIY do it yourself video, I'm demonstrating something where a lot of work is done and there are a lot of repetitive steps. Now, many people, what they do is they simply chop off that part where the repetitive step is there. And sometimes that leads to confusion, like what happened, right? So instead of that, what we can do is we could simply speed up that particular section. Now, if you wanted to speed up that particular section, what we will do is, first of all, we will have to slice that area. So keep both the sides. And let us say, starting from this point, somewhere around 14 minutes, 16 seconds. So at this particular point, for up to this thing, this is, I think, how many seconds are there? This is play this 14, 15, 16. Okay, this is very small part. Let's say up to 40, right? This much of part. Slice, keep both the sides. Now what I have is this center clip, right? This center clip which is there, I'm going to right click on it, and here you will see there is a time. Okay, so reset time, normal, fast forward, you can reverse it also, you can fast it also, you can slow it also, you could freeze it also, and so many other things can be done. So what we are going to do it, we are going to do it fast forward in 8x, right? Speed, twice, 4 times, 8 times, 16 times. Of course, it's going to reduce the number of frames into it and it will jump. But let us say if I put it on 8x, then you can see that all this around 16 to 40 seconds, which is around 20-25 seconds around, is converted to a smaller clip. And then you will have to obviously drag the remaining part and connect it over here. And now when you play your clip, what's going to happen is this is going to just go very fast. Okay, this is going to go fast and work with it. Now during your work itself, it may slow down or stop a bit, but don't have to worry about it. Depends on your computer and power available on that. So when you compile it or create the whole output of this, then it will be in a proper this thing. So this way you could create or speed up a particular section which you don't want. So I'm going to simply, when I play it, this part is speeded up, fine. Okay, if you have multiple things, one on the top of the other, then you will have to speed all of them so that they show up properly together. So this is what we can do over here. Now like this, there are hundreds of settings into this particular thing, but again, if I try to put everything into one video or one work discussion itself, it's going to be quite overwhelming. But once you start working with it, you are going to get all the information. Start working on these things slowly you will understand. Fine. Last thing which I want, which I can demonstrate it, is that how we can finally export this. Fine. So let us say this is up to 16 seconds and these were the credits part. So let's do one thing. Let's make a small output from this. Slice, keep the left side. Fine. And we will just place this over here. So let's say this is our final work which we wanted to do. Fine. Now, one more important aspect that I have gone through is make sure that nothing is there towards the end, otherwise it will compile all those things. Fine. Just reduce the size and see nothing is in the end. Otherwise, when you take the output of this, it's going to make your movie a long movie and unnecessarily blank in the end. Now over here, what we need to do is take the output of this particular thing, whatever we have created. Fine. So once your work is done, finalized, play your movie, go through it, you are happy with everything, fine, then we can export our video. And there is a export video option over here, right? So we can say export a video. Now from the export video, select where you want to export it, give some name. Extension will be added automatically, MP3 or whatever is there. Fine. Now dependent upon your requirement, there are some profiles which are set, like for web, Blu-ray, DVD and other things. One thing that you need to keep in mind is that your recordings or videos should already be in a suitable format. Otherwise they will stretch or skew or something like that. So this video is already in a HD format, so I'm going to export it into a HD format only. Fine. So in the formats, like if I wanted this for web, I could select web. There is for Flickr, Instagram, Fine. If I take it for Instagram, you can see it's a different format, FHD format. Instagram, other vertical formats are there for Instagram. But again, make sure your videos are already in a suitable vertical manner or horizontal manner or something like that. So like YouTube HD, I will select as YouTube HD video profile. It says full HD 30 FPS. This is there. Or a simple one, to reduce the size of the file, you could go in for 24 FPS over here, frames per second. There are video qualities like high, low, medium. So let's set to medium. Fine. And once this is done, you could simply say export video. Now, depending upon what all things you have done, what your OpenShot have to do, mix everything and here and there, it could take some amount of time. So like if I say export video, and this is a small one, so it will get exported in a minute or so. Last time when I was editing my video for the previous workshop, it was like around 1.5 GB of the whole video, and the whole output for compiling the whole video took around 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Again, dependent upon your computer processing power and other things, how much RAM you have, it might take less or more time. And based on the complexity of whatever stuff you have done over here, that you can do. So let's just see what would be the output of this. And yes, one thing that remains is this effects. So I will just talk about one of the effects once this output is compiled. By that time, you can think of any queries that you have. You can put it in the chat box. Then we can take up your queries and questions for today's session. So here it also shows me how much time is remaining, which everyone knows that is never correct in terms of computers. It's usually like it says 27 seconds and it will stay on 27 seconds for another 27 seconds. That's a possibility. Okay. So almost done, 80%. Now again, where it is slowing, it might be some complex combinations it's doing. Okay, so done. This is done. Let's have a look at it. So this is our movie that has been created. And whatever we did, that you will see whatever things were set. Fine. The part from the movie is showing up. The speed up part. Then these are the initial parts which we have created some title and all. We have placed it here and there. But this is the whole compiled output over here from our movie. The transitions are showing up and some remaining part of the movie. Fine. Okay, it's just looping around here. So this is the basics. And yeah, one thing that I wanted to talk about was this. There are a lot of effects available over here, which you could add to one of your videos or audios. So how do we work with the effect? So let's take up effect. Let us say, what should we take? Let's see, what is this de-interlace? So what you have to do is you have to drag this effect and drop on that clip where you want. So wherever you drop that thing, if you click on the clip, you will get the properties, fine, for that clip. Now you will notice there is a small A, B, C, D something, some alphabet is coming up. So I'm going to click on that, and this is where I can adjust the clip thing, fine. So with this selected, we can say it will de-interlace this, fine. Here I don't think there is any kind of functionality available, so let's remove the de-interlace. Or while compiling, I think it will do the de-interlacing. So let's remove this. To remove it, simply say remove effect, and let's take up some other effect. Let's say we will take crop. This is the simplest to understand. We'll place crop over here. Click on crop, and crop basically allows you to crop certain sections from left, top, right. So like if I say top side, I can crop some top area like this. I could crop some left side, right? I could crop some right side like this. And this is the effect that we are going to have. So this is what you could crop and show. Fine. So this way there are different effects. You can just go through them and like try it out and work with them. Yeah, and one more aspect that many people ask is how we can have a watermark or something continuously coming into my video. Then is the same thing. You can create a credit or you can have an image or something like that. To demonstrate that, again, I had downloaded one image which is like a frame. So I'm going to take this image as a frame. It's fine. So this is a frame image over here. Let me see if I can open with. So this is a kind of frame I have. Fine. So you can have any image which you can overlap this. Now this frame image is having a transparent background. It's a PNG image. It's a transparent background. So what I would do is taking the frame image, either you can design the frame in itself to be exact size of this, or we can just resize it to fit this thing. Now for this demonstration, I am just simply doing it like this, but preferably you could create a frame or image that you want continuously, and you can simply overlay it throughout the movie. Fine. So simply overlay it throughout the movie. I think there is a limitation for how long image can be there. So you simply copy paste it again for the remaining part of the movie. Fine. So over here now, if you compile this, what's going to happen is this is going to show up like this throughout the movie. So kind of a watermark you have added. Right. So this way you can add these kind of effects also. That's also a possibility. Okay. Now again, many other things are there, scaling, sizing of something, audio, video, locations, and other things are there. You can play around and find it out on your own. A lot of videos and tutorials are there itself on the OpenShot website, right? So you can refer to them and work with them. So that's it from my side. Most of the things are covered. We can continue to work with this for a very long time also. But my purpose was to introduce you to an open source software for video editing. This is your desktop based. So any kind of professional editing that you want to do is obviously you will have to sit comfortably on a computer with a big screen and work with that. So these kind of things where you have to put a lot of effects, text, and other kind of stuff, you will use a tool like this. Fine. Keep in mind, things always comes with a price performance ratio, and in open source the price performance ratio is always good. Price is less, performance is very high. So welcome to the world of video editing with OpenShot. Hope you people are going to use OpenShot and create some videos. If you do so, please send a feedback video to me. I might share it across on my YouTube channel, giving credits to you. So that's it from my side. If you have any queries, questions, so we are open to that. Please go ahead.
It was very nice, very informative.
Thank you, sir. Okay then, so I hope you enjoyed the session, and I will try my best to come up with new topics and other things and continue with my open source promotion journey with different softwares and other things. So thank you all for joining, giving your time, and taking interest in open source. And hope you also contribute to open source in the coming time. Thank you.